welcome back to the Land Flipping Formula brought to you by the Land Investing Pros, Paul and Willie. I'm Abdiel Herrera, land investor and coach, coming to you live from the Land Flipping Formula Facebook group. I'm excited to be here, and I'm a little bit out of breath because the music before this wind up, the countdown, just pumped me up. Anyways, today I'm sharing on how to improve sales in a land business. Now, I want to focus on the concepts and the main applications that you'll need to focus on in order to bring these sales right back up, right? But before we jump into today's topic, I want to give a shout out to Robert Serrato. He's one of my deal partnership members. He's a client, basically the coaching, right? He's a police officer from Texas, and actually we've been working for a bit on this, but he has just been getting tied up with work as a police officer, right? But we just sent out his first letter campaign about 3 or 4 weeks ago, actually five weeks ago, and now he has 2 properties under him. It is actually kind of crazy how quickly that happened. They're already pending. So congrats, my friend. Guys, if you're watching this live, comment live. If you're watching it on YouTube, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our new content. And for those people watching in the future, comment replay so we know you're there also. And feel free to ask any questions. I'm going to be here live, like you're seeing right here, and I will try to answer your questions as best as I can. I am not perfect at this. I still have a lot to learn, but I will give out as much coaching and information as I can. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. Okay, so basically, today we're focusing on the foundational things, right, about sales, and some foundational concepts that I've found that help people understand this is the first thing about sales. Well, first, sales is the lifeblood of any business. So if you are a business person or if you're in sales, then you should know that this is the number one thing that you should focus on from start to finish. Secondly, that sales is a numbers game. And it's pretty much ruled by the law of averages. If you haven't learned about that, go check it out, go look it up. It's pretty insane. Basically, it means the more that people that you reach out to, your average will work out and you will get a sale, pretty much, right? It's a probability type of thing. What this means that you can also improve. You have some controllables, right, to be able to improve and work the numbers in your favor. And we'll talk about how you can work those numbers in your favor. Thirdly, that sales is an outcome of a good business and it is not the source of it. All right. Now, with this in mind, let's talk about the number one thing that you should be focused on, and that is market analysis. Market above it all. Market analysis, choosing the right market is the most important thing and is the best way to work the numbers in your favor. This is the way you find the right counties, the right subdivision to acquire land that fits your criteria. If you're doing it right, it should be fitting your criteria and ultimately to sell that land. Market analysis is pretty much the most important thing that you should be focused on. And you might be questioning, you just said that sales should be the main focus. Yes, but sales is the product of a good market analysis. Now, choosing the right market will help you get more sales. And so that just makes everything just way down on your market analysis. If you want to learn more about how to do a market analysis, I actually did a video with Aaron Perez. He's one of my own business partners and friends in the past live sessions. You can go check them out in this YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, on the Land Flipping Facebook group, go check it out under guides. It's there too. Now, the second most important thing that you should be focusing in order to improve the sales of your business is in the land flipping business is due diligence. Now, in the very beginning of our deal partnership, I teach clients on how to analyze a market, and often they'll get caught up on the acquisition aspect of a business. They'll worry a lot about if they're going to get deals or not, if they're, they get excited about all the offers that get accepted or so on. And it's understandable for new investors to get excited about all of this. But honestly, you need to avoid getting carried away in this because not every deal that comes in is the right deal for you, right? Instead, think about beginning with the end in mind. Ask yourself if this is something you can actually sell. Can I advertise this? Can I market this area? These are the questions that you should be asking so that you are thinking about the sale right even before you have this property. That is the mindset that needs to take place in your head when you're starting out. Some places will allow you to buy land for cheap, but just because you bought it for cheap doesn't mean that you will sell it for more. Now, this may seem like a contradiction to the whole premise of like buying and selling and that type of business model, but it's not as simple as that. It takes a bit more understanding and guidance and investigation to be able to choose a good deal. You don't want to buy a land that will take long to sell or won't sell at all, right? And that you'll lose out money on. Um, so make sure you follow a thorough due diligence process to determine if this deal is marketable for you, and you can make. I make 3 times or 4 times what I spent on the land deal on the acquisition side. So your sales should be 3 times more that what you sell it for, right? Now, the third thing that I wanted to talk about that's really important is exposure. In land, you might think that you can just put it on Facebook Marketplace and so on, and that does work for some areas. Now, you want to focus on numbers and think about the best formats for your land deal. You know, you want to get your face out there to as many platforms as you can, but ultimately you want quality, right? The more people you reach out to, the more likely you will get sales, and that is part of the law of averages. So the more people that you reach, I did door-to-door sales one summer for a pest control company, and I actually felt like the worst salesman in my whole group. But I realized that there was 2 things, and it was my first time doing door-to-door, so I was like pretty nervous and so on. But I learned 2 things that I should focus on, and that was that I should focus on the number of people I spoke to and I actually pitched to, and then the attitude that I came in with it, because that was all that people would see. And those are the only things that really counted. Since my area was designated for me, I guess I didn't have that much control of any other parameters. But for the most part, those are the things that you'll want to focus on, is how many people you actually see your land. And then as they come in, you'll want to work with them. And I'll talk about that a little more after this. Now, honestly, the best way to provide exposure is just to advertise to as many platforms as possible. So you want to get your land advertised on Zillow or on Facebook Marketplace, or get some ad campaigns out there. You should definitely be sending out your offer letters to neighbors, just offering them this land for this amount, right? Because most of the time the neighbors will want to expand their land right next to them, so they'll want to expand their land. So send them out, and definitely number one thing you should be doing once you acquire a property is sending out those letters to their neighbors and seeing if they will buy it for you. And another one that I use often is email campaigns. Now, this is basically what you call a sales a funnel approach, or funnel marketing approach. But basically, you have as much exposure as you can and reach as you can, and you lead as many people as you can. But you want to narrow it down to the hot leads and people you can close. And of course, for me, what that looks like is they see my advertisements, they see my whether on Facebook, Zillow, or ad campaigns, or even on email campaigns, and then they reach out to me by email or by phone call, and I want to talk to them, because for me, I'm the salesperson in my business. With other, like Paul and Willie, they have their own sales team, I believe, and for other businesses it might be the same, and that works really well. And that's actually the next point that's really big as well: accessibility and sales skill or salesmanship. If you want to optimize the amount of sales you get per amount of people you reach out, you will have to improve your skills as a salesperson, or and also make buying land from you as smooth as possible. You want this to be a clean sell, just no hesitations or kinks in the process, right? So you want to be able to turn over the title to them. If it's being sold on terms, that they understand the terms. If it's being sold on cash, that they understand those terms as well. and you want to have both of those contracts already outlined and ready to go. You want to know exactly what you're going to say and not even have a second guess of what's going to happen in this sale, because once the person says, yes, I want to buy this property, there should be nothing keeping you from getting this sale done. In fact, I remember when I was doing door-to-door sales, when the person said, yes, I want pest control, it was a done deal from that point. There was no way that I could lose that. If I did, I definitely messed up or said something really stupid, like we're not going to be able to get rid of your spiders or something like that. And so don't say that if you're selling pest control. Now with this, like I said, and accessibility, you want to make sure that you have the right systems in place. You understand the process of working with a title company or with a mobile notary, right? This actually goes into play with acquisition as well, because when you're acquiring property, and I'm losing my voice, when you're acquiring property, having it go smoothly as well, just like in a sale, is very important, because that way you won't have any problems in acquiring the property. Obviously, it'll make it a lot easier to sell the property too. Now, as for this, the tools that you should be using, a lot of times when it comes to term deals, what I'll use is Stripe.com. They're pretty good business. When it comes to cash, I would just let them. It really depends on the amount of cash that they're using, right? This is not necessarily a big deal, like the source that you're going to use, or the application that you're going to use to get paid. It could be Zelle, it could be a wire transfer, if you dare, a check if you dare, or cashier's check. Whatever you feel comfortable or is easily accessible to you. But in terms, you definitely want something more solid, like Stripe or so on, right? Now, with that being said, those are the main things that you should be focused on being able to increase the sales. And maybe some of you are thinking, why are you not talking about the skills or so on? It's like the skills will come, and there's a whole video I could make, and I think Ann and I made a video. You can go check it out in the back, in the past videos. It's about selling through the phone. Check that video out. We do go into detail about how to close a deal when talking to someone on the phone, and how to build rapport and all of that stuff that comes into sales. But this is for a business mindset. You're talking about the whole grand scale or grand scheme of things. The market analysis will help you find the right market for you that meets the criteria where you can actually buy land for 20 to 30% of the market value and then sell it for market value and above. And then, of course, your due diligence is going to help you find those right deals, those good deals that will help you get that margin that you want, 3 or 4 times more, right? Excuse me. And then the exposure will help you find those leads. You want to be able to reach out to as many people as possible. So Facebook Marketplace, Zillow, ad campaigns, your own website, if you want to go ahead and do that. I would definitely hold off on that until you have an inventory of about 10 properties. So, because nobody wants to enter a property or a website and there's only like 2 or 3 properties in your website. That's kind of funny, honestly. But anyways, when you're using a sales funnel approach, you want to make sure that you narrow it down to the hot leads, right? So you can be able to actually close on some deals. You don't want any tire kickers. You'll get a lot of those, and that's what the beginning stages of that first sales funnel is. And then finally getting somebody on the phone and making sure that you can close the deal. And once the deal is pretty much set, that you have the accessibility, the tools and everything, and the skill to close on that deal and to actually set a contract in place for a cash or a term sales. I think I pretty much have covered everything. I think with me is also my dog, Coach. He likes to intervene and mess with all my things. But guys, that's pretty much it for me. That pretty much wraps it up here at the Land Flipping Formula. If you guys are interested in the Land Flipping Formula course, in the deal partnership, comment formula below or contact me by email in the description below. For those watching this on YouTube, please hit like, subscribe. I am trying to do this more often, but my land business is taking more time than I wish it would take. But that's a good thing because it is scaling quite a bit. So I'm pretty happy with the consistency of that. Now click the link below. Actually, join us at the Land Flipping Formula Facebook group. That's where I actually am coming from. And you can find more of my posts, more of my shout outs, and get to network with the people that are actually involved in land investing or are just starting out, just like you. There's all kinds of people. There's developers, investors, private lenders, all kinds of people in there, from wholesaling to land flipping. That community is wonderful. So reach out to them, post, and see if you can network with people there. I'm Abdiel, and this was the Land Flipping Formula live session. Take care, guys.